Hi, room 41. Our learning goal for today is we will demonstrate an understanding of parallel, perpendicular, and intersecting lines. I thought I would give this lesson to you to help you as we continue on with quadrilaterals and other types of polygons. So here we go for our lesson today. Let's review what we know about lines before we look at different types of lines. So we've been studying lines last week online with your distance learning. Here's what I want to review with you. If you want to write a line, like line AB, to show me that that's a line, I draw a line over top of it. Arrows in both directions indicate it's a line. If I wanted to call AB a line segment, it has a beginning and an end point. If I wanted to call AB a ray, it would start there and continue on. So that's the codes that we use so that we don't have to draw it out every time. But today we're only focusing on lines. Okay? So line AB would be drawn as line AB. Now, since I gave it a name, I need points on my line to show this is point A and point B, and the arrows indicate that it goes on this direction and this direction forever. That's line AB. So again, line AB, line segment AB, ray AB. To draw a line, I can do that. If I want to draw another line, it doesn't have to be AB. It can be any letters you want it to be, as long as I have 2 points on my line, and I label them H, I, as in hi. That is written as line H, I. Okay, so we're working with lines today. Now, we got to know how to draw lines. I don't want to see any line segments. I want to see lines, okay? So when you're doing your drawing later on in the lesson, make sure you're drawing lines. That means there's an arrow on each end to show lines, okay? So now we're going to talk about the different types of lines. There are several different types of lines that you've been learning about. Let's review those. Okay, look at the categories of lines below. In other words, look at the two boxes, the two white boxes, okay? I know it says turn and talk with your partner, but again, we're not at school. What do you notice about the lines on the left side of the screen? Look at these lines in this box right here. What do they all have in common? Oh, I notice there's some line segments here too. Lines, lines, line segments, line segments. What about these lines on the right? What do they all have in common? I see these two sets of lines, these two sets of lines, these two sets of lines, and these ones. Oh, those are line segments. So, if you had to give this group a name and this group a name, what would you call them? What types of lines are these? There's a special name for these types of lines. What do we call them? Anybody guess? Parallel? Good job. What about these lines? Some of them cross, some of them don't cross at all. Some of them have already crossed. Some cross at right angles. What's the name for these different types of lines? What are they called? Ready? Intersecting lines. These are parallel lines because they run parallel to each other. They never touch. No matter how long these lines would go on for all of eternity, these two lines would never touch. Never touch. These two lines would never touch. Never touch. Never touch. However, these lines have already crossed. They've already intersected. These lines have already intersected. These two lines, will they intersect? Yes. What about these two lines? Are they going to intersect? Absolutely. So, I notice that some of the lines on the right do not intersect. So how can they be called intersecting lines if they don't? Well, we can assume that they will eventually intersect because of the directions they're pointing. So, parallel lines, intersecting lines. Let's go on. Okay, two white boxes again. Okay, take a look at these two boxes and tell me what you notice differently about these two. Let's start on the left-hand side here. Look at these lines. There's line segments. There's lines, line segments, and lines. All of them have something in common. What about this group of lines on the right? They all have something in common too. So, what are these lines? What makes these lines? They all have the same exact type of meeting point. The intersection is exactly the same in all of these. What kind of lines are these called? Perpendicular. They are perpendicular to one another. They cross, they intersect at an exact 90-degree angle every time. Every intersection here, all 4 points of intersection are a 90-degree angle. These 2 points of intersection, here and here, and here and here, are also 90-degree angles. All 4 of these are 90-degree angles, and there is our 90-degree angle on this one. These ones are called, anybody want to guess? Those are intersecting lines. So, all of these are intersecting lines. These ones have a special name. They're perpendicular. But any line that intersects, that joins together, is called an intersecting line. If they join together exactly at a 90-degree angle, then we call them perpendicular. All right, I'm going to give you a little drawing project to do to see if you understand our lesson today. So look on the next page. All right, your assignment for today is to make a drawing. So here's the directions. On your computer, if you can open up Paint on your computer, okay? And if you can't find it right away, just go to the white box at the bottom, type in the word Paint, and it will come up. On Paint, you'll have a blank screen. You're going to draw a scene of a city. I don't care what type of a city it is, a big city, a small city, it doesn't matter. Here's the 3 things you must include. You have to have at least 2 sets of parallel lines that are done in red ink. So I want to see 1 set of parallel lines and another set of parallel lines somewhere in your drawing. You can have more, but there's got to be at least 2. And anytime you draw parallel lines, they have to be in red. Then you're going to draw 2 sets of perpendicular lines. They're going to do those in green. So perpendicular lines have to be that exact intersection of 90-degree angles. So I need a set of perpendicular lines. I need another set of perpendicular lines. And all perpendicular lines will be in green. And then you're going to give me 2 sets of intersecting lines. You're going to use blue paint for those. So intersecting lines don't have to be exactly at 90 degrees. They can be at a different angle, maybe an acute angle or an obtuse angle. They do not have to be at 90-degree angles. So I need a set of intersecting lines and another set of intersecting lines. Okay, so I'm going to see 6 sets. 2 in red that are parallel, 2 in green that are perpendicular, 2 sets of lines that intersect that are going to be in blue. Everything else in your city drawing will be done in black. Don't add any other colors. Then you're going to go to File and save your drawing in your documents. Would you please call it your name and then put the word lines after? For example, Sandy Thompson, lines. Once it's saved like that, go back to Files and choose Send in Email. Click on that and you're going to type in my email address, thompsonsl@sbsd.net, and send it to me. I'll get your drawing. I'll see your parallel, perpendicular, and intersecting lines. Everything else will be in black, and this is going to be worth 8 points in math so that you can show me that you know how to draw parallel lines, you know how to draw perpendicular lines, and you know how to draw intersecting lines. So that's your math assignment for today. have some fun with it, make me a nice city drawing, everything else in black, please, and get to work.